Can animals feel emotion? Do they have egos, souls? Are they aware of their spirituality? Any pet owner will tell you that yes, animals have emotions. And those with more stubborn pets will tell you that they certainly have egos too. But even those who recognize these traits in domestic animals often fail to see that these same qualities extend to all living beings. Because humans are the only animal to have developed spoken and written word, many view humans as something separate from the animal kingdom and nature entirely. Those who recognize the oneness in all things and who know animals have emotions because they can feel them and empathize with them are often written off and told that they're just anthropomorphizing or projecting their own emotions onto the animal. But a new book by Taya Brooks Prebuck called Enter the Animal: Cross-Species Perspectives on Grief and Spirituality claims that animals do in fact feel emotions like grief and spirituality, and that it's anthropocentrically arrogant to think otherwise. She argues that grief and spiritual engagement are first and foremost organismic responses, meaning emotion originates in the body as a reaction to some external stimuli, a loss in the case of grief, or various tangible and intangible energies in the environment in the case of spirituality. Through her experiences on her sheep farm, along with the knowledge gained from her doctoral studies on grief, Prebuck comes to the conclusion that these emotions are not uniquely human. The science is still out when it comes to animal emotions. Although in humans there has been some success in identifying certain emotional categories through MRI scans, many of our studies on emotions rely on self-reported data, which animals obviously can't provide. Anecdotally, however, it's easy to make the leap and believe animals have emotions when we observe their behavior. Crows remember human faces, hold grudges against those who have been unkind or threatening, and warn other crows to avoid that person. When a crow dies, other crows flock to the area to gather and appear to mourn the dead. Elephants have incredibly strong familial attachments. Related but separate elephants will have joyous reunions, trumpeting at one another from a quarter-mile away as they run towards each other, intertwining trunks, rubbing all over one another, and spinning around playfully when they finally meet. When an elephant passes a place where a loved one died, they will stop and pause, standing silently for several minutes. If the bones remain, they may interact with them, turning them over and caressing them with their trunk. Researchers do not yet understand the reason for this behavior, but do suggest it is evidence that elephants have a concept of death and experience grief. Orcas have a complex communication system and form lifelong bonds between mothers and children. Their grief is apparent from their mournful cries when separated. Other whale species and dolphins have been observed carrying the corpses of their dead young. Even giraffes and chimps have been known to show grieving behaviors. The social brain hypothesis suggests that animals who form social attachments require more brain power to navigate the complex interactions of living socially. It hypothesizes that this higher brain power accounts for these animals' ability to feel grief. Animal emotions certainly warrant more scientific study, and further research should bring us closer to understanding the inner workings of the animal mind. Although we may never be able to definitively say what emotions an animal can and cannot feel, I believe the full range of emotions is available to all living creatures. Thought allows the human mind to recognize itself and think of itself as superior, to believe that our emotions are a uniquely human experience. But some emotions are so profound that language fails to adequately capture them. So we know emotion doesn't rely solely on our mental cognition to be felt or experienced. True emotion isn't originated by thought. It is first experienced in the body. Both humans and animals are made from the same building blocks of life: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. We're all born into this world in life and leave it in death. The same life force runs through us all. Is it so silly then to assume that animals have the same capacity to feel the depths of emotions that humans experience? It seems sillier to assume humans are some anomaly, separate from the world we are a part of and so deeply interconnected to. If you're still wondering whether or not animals have emotions, next time you're with an animal, sit quietly with them for a few moments and gaze into their eyes. You will see your own staring back at you, and you will have your answer.